Hello, I'm the contracting guy, and today we're going to talk about what does the government buy? So I'll see you in a moment. Greetings and welcome to the contracting guy. I am the contracting guy, and today I'm at the Ottawa National Wildlife Reserve or Refuge in uh, central north along Lake Erie in Ohio. It is a refuge that is managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and is part of the Department of Interior. So why do I share that with you? Is that it's important to understand who you're working with when dealing uh, with goods and services. And I want to walk through this because I think it's instructive. Because if you know who your customer is, then you can identify the kind of things they buy. So let's kind of walk through this together. And I'm going to go through little bits and pieces of this as we go along. But just be mindful, you could do this too. And it's imperative that you do this because it allows you to be able to look at your customer in a different light. How do they solve their problem? So let's start off with taking a look at the building right behind me. That is the headquarters for the Ohio National Wildlife Refuge. Now, did that just spring up or did somebody have to build it? Yes, they contracted somebody to build it. Well, what are the things that go into the contracting for that? Well, it's a construction project, so there had to be some construction work being done. You look at it's probably architecture and engineering that went into it to be able to get that piece. Of course, you look at all the supplies that go into building a building of this sort. So that's important. We'll also look at the let's say the way that the grounds are set up. Notice that we have roads. Now the government didn't build that. A contractor came in and built that. Now you also take a look at little things in there like lights. You see the little lights along the sidewalk. Well, they probably ordered those and had them put in, which means that you need to have concrete pedestals, as you can see, light posts that can withstand uh, north central Ohio winters and summers, as well as electricity to support that. So you need those things. The government didn't do it. They contracted for it. You also take a look at they have a flagpole, and that's probably something they contracted to have put in, as well as little pedestals for information, things that they've asked to have put in. Let's take a look around at some other things that they might have. As you can see in this picture, this is a restroom facility, an outhouse, if you will. And behind it, or adjacent to it, they have a recycling box or a trash can, if you will, something that is designed to keep the animals from getting in because it has special hand grips. Then you also see a picnic table and a concrete platform. Now, keep in mind, they all were contracted for. Nobody from the Department of Interior or the Fish and Wildlife Service came out here and built this stuff. They contracted for this. Now that's an important distinction. Let's take a look at something else. Connected with the concrete walkway, we also have this nice uh, walkway that is raised walkway that is above a wetland. And you notice that it goes from one side to the other, and also there's in the middle there is a observation area. This was also planned and contracted for. Probably an important piece here to note is that when you're working in a wetland, you're dealing with perhaps EPA stuff, and you might have to have some sign-offs by EPA on this. Don't know. Those in the profession would know. But just be mindful of that. But this was contracted for as well. This is the back side of the main structure. What do you see? Well, let's take a look at what you actually do see. Well, you do see in this landscaping, probably mowing. Now, if they do their own mowing, they probably have to buy their mower. Possibly. Over here, you got trees, bushes, things all part of the landscape uh, uh, effort that is made by this company and on this agency. This agency wants to look good and inviting, so they landscaped it accordingly. But somebody had to do the work, and it wasn't them. It was a contractor. So why do I show you this? It's to present to you the importance of market research. If you know your agency, if you know what you sell, and you know who buys the things that you sell, then it is important to be able to look at actually what they do buy. In this case here, Fish and Wildlife over at the Ottawa National Wildlife Refuge, you'll see that they buy a number of things. It's important to recognize that because they're going to have to at some point replace those things. If you offer them and you're local, you might have a better chance of being able to get the contract award. Or the purchase card purchase, such as those picnic tables generally are purchase card purchases. Now, if you bought 50 of them, not so much. But the important thing is if you know what your agency buys, whom you are selling to, then you're going to be able to tailor the work that you need to do to that. Let's kind of summarize this. When the Department of Interior bought this land or acquired this land, they needed to build a wildlife refuge. That wildlife refuge wasn't in place, so they had to build it from the ground up. So they're going to have to do architecture and engineering. They're going to have to do site design. They're going to have to do necessary preparation. So all those things are contracted for. They're going to most likely contract somebody to help do that so they can make a decision, another contract. They're going to have to now look at what they're going to put on there. Now, if it's a design build, certain things will happen on the building. But some of the other small outlying buildings, they'll contract for. Somebody will say, I'll build it, they'll put it in. All of these things, whether it's picnic tables or light posts or that walkway that goes over the wetland, all those things are contracted for. And you need to know what those things are when you're looking at a project or when you're looking at opportunities with an agency. Otherwise, you're going to keep working from behind. When you see a solicitation out there, most likely there's some people that have already got a foot in the door. Well, you need to get your feet into that door. Not just one, both feet into that door. You introduce yourself, you develop relationships with the people over there so that when opportunities come up, you can solve their problem. And whether it's with the Department of Interior and Fish and Wildlife, or if it's Forest Service, Department of Agriculture, or Department of Defense, or Department of Veterans Affairs, you have to work that relationship to make it work for you. Otherwise, it's just a nice place to have a picnic. This is the contracting guy. I'm out. Thank you for watching The Contracting Guy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We'd appreciate that. This is the Contracting Guy. I'm out.